The Monday Morning Marketing Podcast is brought to you by Esther of IPA Group, bringing premier online promotion to your business.
And Melanie of Stomp Social Media Training, who empowers business owners to manage social media and marketing for themselves.
Welcome back to the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. Today I'm joined by Patty Kay, consultant, speaker and writer from pattykay.com, and we're talking about standing out by being yourself. Welcome, Patty.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here.
Yeah, we finally got you on the show. We've been back and forwarding so much. But does this date suit? Does that date suit? Does the other date suit? And then at the end of the day, it didn't suit Melanie. So I'm on my own today, guys. Bear with me. This is the first podcast I've recorded on my own in almost 3 years. So we've done quite well to get this far. But Patty, you're very welcome. Explain a little bit about yourself for our lovely listeners.
Absolutely. So I'm a marketing consultant, and I specialize in working with solo entrepreneur, professional service provider kinds of businesses, what I would call trusted advisors. Part of the work that they do with their clients is provide advice and insight and education. And that's wrapped in a relationship as well. So, and the thing I help my clients with more than anything else is messaging. How do they talk about what they do in a way that gets the interest of their next clients and explains what they do in a way that inspires those people to reach out and connect with them and ultimately buy from them.
Yeah, well, that's what we all want at the end of the day, is to connect, make those relationships work, and obviously the sales. It's what we all need, especially right now with the big recession hanging over us, and just after a couple of years of COVID and not having events, not being able to go out and meet people in person. So what's one of the main things that you would sit down and talk to your clients about? How do you get them to find their message?
Well, I'll share my big secret about marketing. It's seriously, nobody ever listens when I say this, but it's actually easier than we think it is, and your clients will tell you exactly how to market to them if you listen to them. So marketing is all about, like, effective marketing is all about getting inside the head of the person who's going to buy from you, and speaking to them according to their interests. So when you think about your next client wandering around in the world, hoping to run into you, they've got a problem that they want to solve that you can help them with, or they've got something that they want that you can help them with. And so that's what you talk about. You talk about the problems that they're experiencing, or you talk about what they want. And they will tell you in the very first conversations you have with them, your first discovery call or consultation, when you ask them about, hey, what's going on? And, what inspired you to book this call with me? And they will tell you. And you write that down, and then you put that in your marketing materials. So if somebody shows up on your call, and says that they've got this terrible back pain, and they've tried everything and nothing works, that's what you can put into your marketing. Got terrible back pain, tried everything and it doesn't work. And that's the kind of messaging that lands with clients. But what we tend to do instead is get wrapped up in what we do and how we do it, and how do I explain this complicated thing that people don't understand, when it's really just a simple offer to help people get what they want or solve the problem in front of them.
I see. Keeping it simple is the most effective way. So, we do get so wrapped up in our own sort of issues, and in our, we released an episode a couple of weeks ago about marketing jargon, which a lot of marketers get wrapped up in. And how do we explain what click rate is and the click through and all this? How do we explain it? Simple terms, keeping it simple, like finding their pain point and meeting them there. That's something that we all need to hear a lot. We all need to remember every time. It's like you said, if you don't meet your audience where they are, then they're going to go somewhere else, to someone that is meeting them. Okay, so you've got your copy, your content, and your messaging. Does it all have to be the same? Does it all, how do you stand out? That's the topic that we're talking about today. Stand out from the rest with your copy and your content if everybody is marketing that, they've got the solution to the bad back?
Yep. There's a few things to keep in mind here. One, and I always come back to this, is put yourself in the shoes of your future client and kind of view the situation through their eyes. So you are one of many voices that they're being exposed to. So what you want to do in order to stand out is you want to make sure that you're talking about their pains and their problems, and that's going to go a long way in a lot of cases, because everyone else is out there being clever and creative and talking about what they do, and you can stand out by talking about something that is interesting to them in language that they understand, that's super simple. So that's one piece of it. The other thing is to be repetitive. It'll be boring to you, but you really want to be this broken record that says the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it's consistent, and then you start to get known as that person that helps with that, and it takes multiple repetitions of the message before somebody actually takes it in. Once again, think about the flood of information that you have coming in. You're going to miss one message.
Yeah.
But if you see it several times, then you can start to remember it. And just in all of this is to kind of keep in mind that all of this incoming that we have isn't necessarily all about you and your business. It's not the person that's receiving all of this slew of advertising in front of them might not be hearing about anybody who does what you do other than you. So we often want to say, how do we stand out from our competitors? But what we're really looking for is, how do we stand out from the general noise? It's helpful to stand out from competitors if you're in that place in the sales kind of cycle where somebody is actually comparing you to competitors because they're making a decision about who they're going to go with. Is very different from standing out in a social media feed, which could be full of all kinds of stuff that might get their attention.
Yeah.
And then the
Very
third thing is being you, because nobody can compete with that. So
yeah. Even if you have a twin, they can't be you, although they might confuse people. But yeah,
Possibly.
they're definitely not you. Yeah, they're like, so many people get bogged down in the what and the how, and they're not really focusing on the why. You're out there to help your clients. It's not, yes, we all want the sale, we all like the money at the end of the day, but if you're not in your business to help people and to improve something in their life, then you might need to reconsider your business. If it doesn't excite you and motivate you, then you might need to find somewhere else to stand out.
yeah, it's one of the things that one of the soapboxes I like to climb up on about this is a lot of the business advice that we get, like, speaking as a solo entrepreneur, a lot of the business advice we get is meant for big business. And it often comes in the form of, do your market research. Where's the gap in the market? Who are your biggest competitors? What do people want? Go and survey people and find out what they want, and then do that. It's like, so you go out and you survey people and you find out that what they really want is somebody to come in their yard and scoop dog poop. If you're not really excited about helping, pet owners have a poop-free lawn, that's going to be a really hard business for you to market and sell. It's extremely hard to market and sell something you don't actually want to do. So I take the opposite kind of angle with this. If you're going to be a teeny tiny, itty bitty little small business, if you're going to be a solopreneur, start with what you want to do and what you feel passionate about doing. What's the service you want to provide? Where do you get excited about helping a client with? What uses your skills and your abilities and your interests? Figure that out first, so that you're inventing, days and weeks and months and years of doing a thing that you're going to enjoy doing. Then, when it comes to the marketing, you look from the other side. towards you, like
Mhm.
from the client's eyes, and you go, who is going to benefit the most from what I do? Like the stuff that I do, what problem is it going to solve for people? What are they
Mhm.
complaining about that what I do can be helpful? And then take your marketing from that. Um, and you don't have to worry about, you know, taking some kind of market share in the coffee industry or something like that. It's like um, you just have to get enough business for you to sustain a small business. And there can be like hundreds, thousands of people who do what you do, and they all do just fine.
Yeah, yeah. There are. I mean, in our business in marketing, there are loads that do what we do. So we all have to stand out some way or another.
Yeah.
Do they? Do you need to have a huge audience when you start out?
No, no. um, to start, to start out with one, right? It's like you need your first client or customer. And start with the people that you know, not in this annoying bug your friends and relatives to buy something, even though it's not relevant to their interests. But when you think about who are the people that you know that could help you get started with your business, it's like who in your network of people who you already have a degree in know, like, and trust with, who can you talk to about your business, who might buy from you directly, or who might know somebody who could buy from you directly. And you can start with those one-on-one conversations. And this is something that as individual human beings, it's a competitive advantage over a big company that doesn't do that kind of personal um, kind of connections, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so yeah,
definitely.
you can get your first few clients um, from talking to people one on one. I work with some people that are incredibly successful in their advisory kind of practices. You know, multiple six figure kind of solopreneur type of people who have virtually no public social media um, presence. Like you would look at their website and you go, yeah, I'm not even sure they're in business, right? Like it's they don't have that. What they'd have instead is a very close, well-connected network of people who actually know, like, and trust them, and are positioned to be able to send them business. They have happy clients that stay with them over time and who send them referrals.
Hmm.
And that's the business. And then when I ask them how they established it, they talk about stuff like, well, I went to networking events every day, and I made a goal for myself to collect, 5 new business cards and have 5 coffee meetings. And in a second it adds up over time. And I had these conversations with people one on one, and I got some clients, and it just kind of started the ball rolling. They weren't even thinking about something like social media or a website. They were just going right to conversations. That still works.
Yeah, and it's a lost art. It really, I mean, COVID definitely took away our networking, like one on one, and our coffee meetings and things like that. But there are other ways around it. Even if you live somewhere really remote and there isn't, a physical networking event close to you, there are still online networkings going on. There are still people. And what one thing that COVID definitely taught us is that the world is very small and the world is very connected. So you don't have to rely just on your next door neighbors and your friends and family in your zone, in your area, in your small circumference to buy from you or to refer you. There are people maybe on the other side of the world that could also, Patty and I are talking in Northern Ireland and Canada right now. So, there is nothing to stop you from going out and hitting up an online networking event in a different time zone. Perfectly doable.
Absolutely. And there are so many. Um, there's so many of them, so many opportunities to do that. And the other thing too is to even change how you look at social media. A lot of people look at social media as like, oh, here's a great place where I can advertise and I can promote and I can talk and I can, put my stuff out. Or you can look at it as the world's largest networking event. And here's a way to connect with individuals one on one. through
Yeah.
social media. Like you can make human connections that way as well. It's the other side of it.
Yeah, it's the social part of social media. It's the
Exactly. Everyone's all focused on the media side, but the social part is great, and it doesn't have to be. You don't have to have run a Facebook community with 100,000 people in it or whatever. You can just go and drop into one of those communities and look for people that you might make a connection with, and especially if you're an introvert and you don't want to be all loud and noisy, you can have one-on-one connections with people.
Yeah, and one thing that people keep asking is, what social media platform should I be on for my business? So you were talking earlier on about the businesses that you specify or specifically work with. Where would you recommend that they hang out?
It I don't know that there's a right answer for this. What I look at is, okay, who are your clients and where are you most likely to find them? So when I work with clients who work, like my clients are a lot of business coaches, management consultants, um, uh, leadership trainers, executive coaches, that kind of thing. It's like LinkedIn. Especially if your clients are 40 plus, 50 plus, on LinkedIn. Like I don't know, maybe the younger generations are on TikTok. But I'm like, LinkedIn. LinkedIn
Yeah.
seems like a really good place to meet those sort of people. Whereas sometimes I work with business coaches that work with like startups, and they're working with new solopreneurs. Well, Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or something like that might be where more of those kinds of people are. Maybe even just because they think that's where they're supposed to be marketing themselves, right?
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, where do you think your people are? And the other piece of this is, where do you want to be? Like, where are you willing to make an investment? Because
Yeah.
when you look at the stats for how many people are on all of these networks, um, and it's like, okay, there's a billion people on Facebook, and I need 25 clients to make my business successful. Probably a good chance, right?
Probably, but then we come back to
Probably.
the whole, how do you stand out from the noise? If
Yeah.
there's a billion people talking to a billion other people, it's a lot of noise.
Yeah, and that's why, and that's why you really want you know, to go back to the messaging thing, is to talk about the things that your prospective clients are interested in, because that's what's going to get their attention. It's like they got this stream of stuff, and then it's like, but if you talk about something that's actually on their mind, they're going there. They'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, you can solve that for me. I'm here wasting my time on Facebook because I have this thorny problem I can't get over. And then there it is. There's the answer.
Yeah. Um, do you, it's not a belief, but do you believe in ads? Do ads work?
I think ads work great for some businesses and less effectively for others. Once again, it's like, how do people buy? Like, so when you know who your clients are, then you know how they buy. So one of the things I do when I work with my clients is I will interview their clients to get the information. So I'll have interviews with their clients, and I will ask, it's like, well, if you didn't know my client and you were looking to hire that kind of service, how would you go about it? And that's when I go to search on Google, or more likely, well, I would ask some people in my network. And I've had people explicitly say, I would never buy that kind of service through Google search. I would never buy
Mm.
that kind of service through social media. I would buy it through my trusted network. And it's like, okay, so what does that mean for your marketing? Whereas with a different client with a different kind of business, they might be, well, I'm on Instagram. That's where I see stuff, is on Instagram. So that's, you'd be able to catch my eye there. Or
Yeah.
even better, I would meet them at a conference, an industry conference, or an industry magazine. Sometimes they will actually name an industry magazine. It's like, oh, well, they should run an ad in, some
Mhm.
magazine that I'd never heard of before, but it's just for that particular industry. So it, We can
Yeah.
sometimes look beyond just, social media is easy and there it is, but maybe
Mhm.
there's a better way to reach the people you want to reach that's not that.
Definitely. And I mean, like we were saying, social media is a lot of noise. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of investment in your time and your energy. And there's a lot of negativity. Like if you put a message into a magazine, you'll never hear what people didn't like about your ad in the magazine. But they're very keen to tell you on social media what they didn't like.
Yeah.
Not as keen to tell you what they did like. So maybe do think about who, obviously, we've always said this, think about who your audience is, think about where they hang out, think about what they need, what they want. At the end of the day, it is your business, but you're not buying from yourself.
Hmm.
So you definitely need to take all of these points that Patty has been telling us on board today and just maybe take a step back and reevaluate. Okay, we're coming up to the end of the year. Reevaluate, go into the next year, the next month, next week with a whole new set of fresh eyes on what you're selling, what you're offering, whether it be a business that's offering services or whether you're offering products. Take a step back, rethink, what is my client? What do they want? What do they need? What have they bought before? What do they look for? And maybe, interview your clients. I'd never thought of doing that.
Oh,
Never thought of like asking my clients, some people even forget, like I always forget, to ask where they found us. Like, how did you hear about us? Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes they, come through referrals from other people. But other times, like, this random person from this random place randomly messaged me. Huh, that's cool. Ask.
yes,
And this
ask.
is for myself as well. How did you hear about us? And then focus more attention in that area.
Absolutely. And the interviewing your clients, your customers is like, it's brilliant. And it's just simple questions. It's like, why did you hire me in the first place? What were you hoping to get? What did you like best about working with me? And it's like those kind of questions. Even better, swap with one of your business networking pals and have them interview 5 of your clients, then you interview 5 of theirs. Um,
Yeah.
and
They
and
might
then
be
you
more
get
willing
to,
to talk
it's
to someone
easier.
who's not you. Yeah.
It's easier. It's one of the things, when I interview for my clients, it's I have no problem saying, "Oh, you really like that? Tell me more. Tell me more about why
Yeah.
you think they're awesome. Oh, what was really great about that?" And whereas if I was interviewing someone who was talking about me, I'd be a little shy about going there. But I've got no
Yeah.
problem when I'm interviewing for someone else. Um, so it kind of takes the pressure off, and it's easier for the client too because they can let their guard down a bit as well.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's been great, Patty. Honestly, all the tips and advice you've given, and you have an ebook for our listeners, don't you?
I
So
do.
tell all of us what they can expect
Sure.
from the ebook.
Yes, I've got a little ebook, and it's all about some of the stuff we talked about today. But it's how to build a marketing machine for a trusted advisory kind of a business. If you do some kind of service business, freelance business, working with clients one on one, it's got a lot of information about my perspective on how to be client centered and what to put on your website and how to approach your content marketing and all of that. So it's it's available for free on my website, and go get
Yeah,
it.
and it'll be in the show notes as well whenever they get up on our website. So thank you so much for joining us today, Patty. It's been brilliant. We could have talked forever. There's just so much, but people, just when you're listening here, be you. You're the only one who can be, and stand out at it. You are outstanding as you are. That's it for today, guys. We're back next week with another episode of the Monday Morning Marketing. Until then, bye-bye.